I was just saying to someone outside, she's the only actor I can think of who, if her face was on a tiger beat, I would buy it. And so, without further ado, Juliana Francis Kelly.
Paula Newby-Fraser is experiencing the triathlete's biggest fear. She's hitting the wall. Her lead, 3 minutes with 4 miles to go, but surely that's enough. She's down. Newby-Fraser's hit a volunteer. She's totally disoriented. This is the cruel reality of the Ironman, but she's going on.
It was strange. She bounced right back up, got right back into the race as if nothing happened, and that is, as you say, either because she's very focused or totally out of it.
Since 1986, Paul has been winning these Gatorade Ironmans, but that doesn't make them any easier or more pleasant. Mind you, this sport was never meant to be pleasant, but the reward is the great inner satisfaction felt from success. Newby-Fraser is not getting such a feeling. She's in desperate trouble. Her mind is confused by the efforts of an extraordinary day. The 7-time champion in her final Ironman finds her body in turmoil. Her champion instincts alone force it onward.
Hi, my name is Juliana Francis Kelly. I am an actress and a theater artist and a mother, and sometimes I make dolls out of stuff. I've recorded this message because I am way too messed up to speak to you right now. Also, frankly, this Prelude festival scares the living shit out of me. I mean, I am really happy to be here, but show new work. I am a working mother. I work 13 to 100 hours a day, and in the past 3 years of being a working mother, I have turned down 5,000 acting jobs because they paid less than I'd have to pay the babysitter, and I've missed you. Theater or live arts or whatever you're calling yourself. I love you. I loved you so much. My whole life, I've gone into debt for your ass. I've broken fingers, gotten stitches, hairline fractures, scratched corneas, had light bulbs explode in my face, slept in storage closets, shoplifted all my groceries, turned tricks, and almost got hung to death once when a hanging apparatus broke and I actually got half hung for real while the audience was filtering in, and it was opening night, so it took 35 minutes for them filtering in, and I almost died, but I still did the show. Not exaggerating much. But I still love you, and I baked you some cookies.
Chocolate chip pecan with coconut and some vegan options with carrots and millet and stuff. Here. Napkins too. Healthy cookies. This really has nothing to do with the subject of this talk. Daphne and Apollo. It's just as a mother, I like to feed people. I want to feed people with my body. I want to like pull you in and make your brain grow with sticky magic milk. Preferably on the 4, 5, 6 street. Okay, here you go. Oh, psych! Running out of the dark woods of no theater, Daphne and Apollo, exercise 1. Daphne and Apollo, Ovid's Daphne and Apollo, in which Cupid shoots Apollo with one arrow and Daphne with another, causing Apollo to run after Daphne and Daphne to run the other way, racing deep into the woods, so fast over rocks, fern, moss, trees, deeper and deeper until the sky is blotted out by the overstory. Insects scream in her ears, feet slide and scrape and fly, arms laced with scratches, almost there. To nowhere, in the middle of just running, almost run completely apart, sensing some kind of freedom in which arms run away from legs, legs run away from spine, shadow shatters and flies up, nothing left but Apollo catches up with her and is just starting to embrace her when Daphne prays to her father, the god of the river, change this body that destroys my life. And her father turns her into a tree. So there is Apollo hugging a tree, and a laurel tree, which he decides is his tree, so he cuts off some of her leaves to wear in his hair. Oh, teenagers. I mean, it's teenagers, right? Running after each other and turning into unrecognizable, irrevocable things. Don't you love teenagers? I love teenagers almost as much as I love theater. I love when a subway stops around the end of the school day and a huge mass of horrible, super loud teenagers rushes in and changes everything. What do you think love is, teenagers?
Next message.
Hi, Auntie Julia. It's me, Tanaka. I just wanted to ask a question about what I think love is, or I don't think it is. I actually think that love is when people show strong feelings, relationship with each other, and it doesn't matter the gender, as long as you're a human being and you're together always, hanging out together, and just showing strong feelings towards one another. I really don't think love is when a certain gender, like man and woman, love, like, are married, or when they are with each other a lot. And it's just strong feelings, that I said before. Any gender. So love, it's not when a guy likes a girl for a week or two and then leaves her the next day. It's when you actually stay with someone, because you live with them for the rest of your life, because you actually have feelings for them in your heart. Not just feelings because of their look or how they dress or how they act. That's not how you like them. You like them for who they are and not what you want them to be.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8. To save it, press 9.
Super fast teenager. You can run a mile in 5 minutes, 41 seconds. What does that feel like?
Next message.
To run your mile the fastest, starts off with any other race, and you don't really know what's going to happen. And then when you start, it feels good. And then by the second lap is the mentally the hardest. And then the third lap is physically the hardest. And the last lap you want to give it your all and finish strong. When you're in the middle of it, you feel it really hurts. And then once you come across that finish line and you take your time and it's a PR, you feel amazing. And sometimes you feel like you could run another mile because the adrenaline is still pumping, and just feels really amazing, like, you know, like you're the fastest on Earth, even though, I mean, the time may not be, it still feels amazing. Thank you.
End of message.
Dear audience, now please forgive me. No, I mean, seriously, really, I am a haphazardly educated person. Not much school, but I've worked for some very smart people. And one of them, Mr. Richard Foreman, super smart egghead that he is, told me that you should just make your work out of whatever you've got. Don't try to get smarter or read more books or see more things beforehand. Just go. Go. So it seems to me that if a myth like Daphne and Apollo was a plate that you smashed on the floor, that each shard of that smashed plate would still contain the entire myth inside. That maybe that's one of the things that makes a myth different from a regular old story, that you can't ever really smash it. I mean, there's a fairy tale like this, where a witch smashes a really evil mirror, and slivers of glass from this mirror fly all over the world, and one sliver catches in the eye of a child, and then that child can only see the world as distorted and ugly, and one sliver flies into another child's heart, and it ruined that heart. It made it filled with spite and hatred. Is that possibly how a myth functions? Is that possibly how a myth functions? Here's my email. Is that possibly how a myth functions? Is that possibly how a myth functions? Is that possibly how a myth functions? Yes. Is that possibly how a myth functions?
I've told myself the same thing.
Is that possibly how a myth functions? This might be an example of how a myth functions. In 1622, a 24-year-old sculptor named Gian Lorenzo Bernini began work on a life-sized model of Daphne and Apollo on commission for Cardinal Scipione Borghese, who justified the pagan story by a moral couplet composed in Latin by Cardinal Maffeo Barberini, later Pope Urban VIII. Those who love to pursue the fleeting forms of pleasure in the end find only leaves and bitter berries in their hands. It took Bernini almost 4 years to finish it. It's beautiful. "247 years later, a Southern widow whose young husband had been killed in the American Civil War arrives in New York City. Her name is Annie. She's one of a small but noticeable population of Southern women with no family, no husband, few prospects. They enter into a shadow world. They become prostitutes and work in brothels mostly around Green Street. They make a lot of money. The interiors of their houses of prostitution are designed to look like the old, lavish Southern plantations so clients can vanquish the South again and again. Annie does really well. She moves up the ranks from prostitute to madam. She operates one of the most successful houses in town. Somewhere, she sees a rendering of Bernini's Daphne and Apollo. She commissions an expensive copy, installs it in the sitting room of her brothel. When asked why, she tells people it is the only work of art that contains exactly how she feels. Like running, but not running. Like running, and then not running, 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 and like running, and running, and like not running, and running, and running, and like not running, running.
Черная ряса, золотые погоны, все прихожане ползут на поклоны, призрак свободы на небесах. И пройдут отправить в Сибирь каталог. Глубоко губы, склоны седой, ведет протестующих цветовый конвой. Кто на святейшего не оскорбит? Женщина муж дрожать и любить. Страсть, страсть, страсть Господня, страсть, страсть, страсть Господня, страсть, страсть, страсть Господня, страсть, страсть, страсть Господня. Крестный ход из черных лимузинов в школу к тебе идет проповедник. Иди на урок, принеси ему денег. Патриарх гудя и верит в Путина лучшему богатству.